Hey everybody, it's Shane from IGU here, and you may notice I have the League of Legends launcher open. Now, I have a lot of friends who've picked this game, well, not picked it up, but they've started playing it and they've seen it and they've been like, oh, this is really cool, I want to learn how to play it. But they try and play it, and it's kind of it can be a complicated game, and a lot of people have trouble grasping that. So, I've tried to teach some friends, and if you've ever tried to teach some friends, you know it can be a pain in the ass. So, what I want to do is I want to make a very in-depth tutorial on how to use the game, how to play the game, how to play different parts of the game. So this is the very first part of that. So this one's going to be kind of dull. This is more if you just downloaded the game, you just made your summoner name and all that crap, and you just logged on, and you look at this screen that I've got up here right now, and you're like, what the hell is all this shit? And if you know this or you don't give a shit, you can click on the annotation on the screen right now and go to the next video where I'm going to explain what the lanes are and how the actual game works. But right now I'm just going to focus on the launcher so you're not confused and doing stuff that you shouldn't be doing, because there's a couple things you don't want to do right off the bat, alright? So might as well just get right into it, or this video is going to be way too long because I'm just going to keep talking. So when you start up the launcher, you're going to get the login screen, which I'm going to skip through because I don't want to type in my shit again. Usually there's a cool picture, it does whatever. What that is there is your login name. Nobody's ever going to see that. You can have that I love kittens and nobody's going to know. You could have it something totally random, doesn't matter. Type that in, type in your password, you log in, then you see this screen. Well, there'd be a thing in front right now because of the winter shit, but you can press the little X right here and bring this up. So you see right here is my level. I'm level 30. You're going to start level 1 if you just started. Then you see the summoner name. This is what everybody will know you by. So mine's the Hell Reaper. I don't like that name. I need to make a new one, but it costs money and I don't have money. So you got that. That's what people see you as in-game and on their friends list. And you've got these little things here called riot points. You have to pay money for these. That's used for buying skins and champions the easy way. Then there's influence points. Influence points are earned by playing, or winning or losing games, but just by playing games. And it can be any style of game except custom games. And obviously for win you're going to earn more, and for lose you're going to earn less. Right? So the influence points you would use in the store, which is what I'm going to talk about next. It's right here. It's always orange, glowing orange. Go in here and you've got this big list of shit that you have no idea what's going on. Right? So you have to have influence points before you can buy things. So you can look at the champions, and there's a ton of them. I own most of them already, so it's not that long. You can buy skins, but only with the riot points. So you need to spend real money if you want to buy skins. But champions, you can choose between IP points, influence points, or RP points, riot points. So if you want to, like if the new champion, Yasuo here, just came out the other week, and I really wanted to play him day one, I could spend the actual money and buy the riot points to play him right away. Or I could be patient and save up the influence points. Or I could not play him because I don't like the playstyle. You don't know. You never know. You know, there's ward skins, don't really matter. If you really want to spend money on it, it's not much point until you're really into the game. Summoner icons, these come up from time to time. Runes. Runes is the one thing that you need to know, okay? I'll talk about the rune pages in a minute. But the biggest thing is that there's different tiers of runes, as you can see here. There's 1, 2, and 3. You don't unlock tier 3 until you're level 20. And before that, the bonuses that they give you aren't exactly worth it. So from what I've been told and what my experience is, you really don't want to spend your IP points on your runes until you reach level 20, because they're still, you know, they're kind of cheap. And if for whatever reason, you know, you have 10,000 IP points and you just don't want to buy a champion or anything, go for it. Not going to stop you. You might see a little bit of a bonus, but if you look here, like if we go to marks and physical damage, the tier 1 you get half of an attack damage. Tier 3 you're gonna get, where'd it go? You don't even get an attack damage. Am I just looking in the wrong spot? It's a bigger bonus over a longer period of time type thing. So it's more worth to save it, and during the time before you're level 20, use your points to buy champions, because then you can buy the new champions. You can try them out before it ever really actually matters. If, you know, late League of Legends when you're level 30 matters to you, if you really want to do ranked or anything, or if you're just playing for fun, you know, spend your points on whatever the heck you want. So obviously you can buy boosts for experience and IP points, so if you really want to earn points faster, but this costs real money again. And the rest of the stuff is just codes and bundles, and you can change your account name, or you can change to Oceanic or whatever. I'm on North America, and I'm not going to change because, I don't know, it's ping is horrible anywhere else, I'm assuming. So then next to the store button, you got this little guy here. Looks like a dude, sort of. And this is your profile. This is where you can look at everything you have. So you can see here I have a team that isn't active because I never play on it. And you see your profile. So you see what you've done in 3v3, solo queue, ranked 5s. Then there's normal as well, how many takedowns, all that stuff. Who you play the most, your level, your first win of the day available, all that crap. If you play ranked, you can look in your leagues and you can see where your standing is compared to other players and how you're advancing. It's not really important if you're just starting. Don't worry about it. Match history, again, not really that important. It's, you know, you can go back and see, well, that build worked, that build didn't. Obviously, I've lost a few and won a couple more, but you can see I did bad that game, maybe I can improve. Most important thing that you're going to get at level 1 is the champion list. So if you can select here on the side, you go to available, and you see all the champions that you're able to play when you go into the game. Now, each week, Riot gives us 10 champions that are free that we can play, and it switches every week. And usually they give us a good variety of different styles and types and difficulties of champions. Sometimes it sucks, so if you start on the wrong week, sometimes you're just totally lost. But you get these little guys, these ones with these exclamation points, that you can play whether you've bought them or not, only for a week, but it gives you a chance to try them. And as you buy the champions with the points, you'll get more. So when you first log on, you're going to be forced to play these champions. So looking from what's free right now with the exclamation points, you'd probably want to play Garen, or maybe Rise. He's not bad if you want to take it easy. If you want to just jump into it, whatever. But just to understand how you know what's free each week. So let's say I wanted to play Garen, but I haven't played him before. So you can go and you can click on them, and it'll bring up an overview, and it'll tell you what all their moves do here, tell you if they focus more on attack power, how much defense power they have. So you can see that Garen's really physical, but he can also take a lot of damage. You can see by the ability that his abilities are important, but his focus isn't on the ability power aspect. And you can see here that his difficulty isn't that big. You can see what type of champion he is. So he's a fighter. He's meant to get right in there and do some damage and take some damage, but he's a tank too. So if you build him that way, he can just absorb tons of damage. You can go through the different skins if you're interested in looking at them or buying one. And it even goes more in depth. Like, you can look at the abilities and search through them and watch a little video on what each ability does, so you can see what it does rather than just read what it does. If you're interested in lore, there's a lore page, and if you want some easy tips, some of them are a little bit straightforward, but they're always good for new players. You can check those out too. Alright, so we've gone through this, and there's different types of champions. I'll get into that later. It's really just trying to help you understand what you're looking at to take all this in at once right now. So if you go to the rune page, you start it with 2. I've bought a 3rd one, and you unlock the runes as rune like slots as you level up. That's also why they're not that important at the low levels, because you can't have that many for them to make a huge difference, and you can't even have the top tier ones. So, but once you get them late game, or once you're level 30, you have all of these advantages in the early game. So normally if I was playing an AD champion, an attack damage champion, one that focuses on auto attacking, I would go into the game with 60 damage. But with this, I would go into the game with 22 extra damage, so I'd have 82 damage, which means I'm hitting that much harder at the beginning of the game. But if I was to do it with level or tier 1 runes and glyphs and marks and all that, because there's different types, I would only get maybe a 5 bonus or something. And that's after I've leveled a couple times and paid for it a couple times and figured out what I like. But then I've got to replace them when I get up to higher levels, so it's really not worth it. So you've also got masteries, which every time your summoner level goes up, you gain mastery points, and you can put them into a bunch of different, like you can keep creating these. So I've got one for ADC, one for tank, and there's different trees, different advantages to going down different ones, and you can mess with them and do some funky stuff with certain champions, or you can just go straight, like if I'm going to play an AD champion, I'm going to go mostly into AD, but I have some extra health stuff, so that I'm not getting destroyed early game type thing. So as you level up, you'll put points in here. Hopefully, you'll remember to put points in here. And when you reach level 30, you have 30 points that you can distribute, and you want to have builds for different specific champions or different types of champions. Then there's the spells. I'll explain more about the spells in a second, but when you choose your champion, you get to choose 2 spells that you get to use during the game. And starting, you have up to, I don't remember, you have just these first 5 here that you can use. And they all have different things, different abilities, and they're on a cooldown in the game. But here you can just look at them. You can read what they do, and hopefully understand how you can use them. And then you can choose which ones you want to start with, and usually you'd start with like Ghost or Heal or Revive and Heal or something. And then as you level up, you unlock more, and you're able to do more things. And some of them are like really cool things you can do, or some of them are just subtle things that help, but you might not want to do as specific champions. And of course there's item sets. When you get in the game, you buy items, and you can set up a predetermined list of items so you don't have to go searching through. Normally this isn't something you want to do until you've learned the champions a little bit more and you understand exactly what you want to build in certain situations. It's more, in my opinion, it's more of something you'd use at level 30. But if you want to go out at level 1 and be like, this champion looks awesome, I'm going to do this, and this looks cool, go for it. It's all about experimentation. You got to figure out what you like and how you like to play, because there's, ooh, I just deleted that, oops. And I just deleted the whole thing, great, alright, whatever. There's specific ways to play things, but that's not the only way to play each character or each champion. You can mess up with it and change it, and you could end up, who knows, you can make the next best build. The odds of that happening are very low, but you never know, so why not? If you're a lore geek, there's a lore tab here. You can look at all the different stuff and see what's happened in the history of League of Legends and the fields of justice and all that. And this is just if you need some help. You can like look at what, it's a little bit more of a written explanation of what everything is. Okay. Alright, so we've gone through these tabs. There's the big play button, which I think is pretty straightforward. It brings up this page here, and you have the different types of game styles. Now obviously you're going to want to do the tutorial first, and there's the basic and then there's battle training, and whether you think you're ready to jump into it or not, I'd suggest doing these because they give you a fair amount of influence points that you can use right away to buy a champion. Even if you don't use them right away, it just gives you a nice little boost to get going instead of sitting there and waiting for however long to win a game, or going into a game completely confused and losing them in a row and having to wait until you have enough to buy a champion. So that's why I suggest that. And the tutorial is pretty cool, but you also have to read in it, and it makes you do a specific thing at a specific time every time, and it's kind of boring in that way. And personally, I'm more of a learn as I go, or be told something and then be able to do it. So hopefully this is a little bit more in-depth if you like that, and it'll help you a little bit more. Of course there's custom. This is if you want to play with some friends and you want to just mess around with a new champion with some friends. You want to put yourself in a game against bots. Like you can create here, and I can create the game, and I can add a bot, and I continuously add a bot, and I could go 1v5 if I wanted to, but I'm not going to because I'm gonna get my butt kicked. What's next? We've got co-op versus AI. So this is playing with other players, whether it's your friends or random players, and you can play beginner or intermediate, and this is what you could or should, depending on what you like, do in order to learn a champion. You can go in, you can pick a new champion you've never played, go into beginner bots, and mess around with a build, with a playstyle, even with a lane, and see what you can do. And then once you get a little bit better, you can go to intermediate, and then you could go to a live game and see if you like it. Heck, you could spend the first 6 months of your time playing this game playing bot games, and it won't matter because you'll still be earning IP and you'll still be gaining a little bit of experience. It's a big jump up to live games against actual people because they can think a little bit more, obviously. But it's a good way to learn and experience the game before getting in there and getting yelled at by people. Because I hate to say it, but it's going to happen no matter what you do. You could play the best you possibly could and just end up getting shut down by the other team, and somebody will probably yell at you. And I'm sorry if that deters you from playing, because it can be really fun to play this game. So then, of course, there's PvP, which is player versus player. You're playing your team against the other team, and there's different modes. There's Classic, which is 5v5. Dominion, which is like a capture the flag, or I don't know how to explain it. You capture nodes, and you've got to hold the nodes, and you gain like a resource as you hold the nodes. That's pretty much it. ARAM is 5v5, but there's only one lane instead of 3. And Showdown is just right now you can do 1v1 and 2v2, which is kind of fun. I don't know if they'll keep it. They should, because it's pretty cool, but I doubt they will. So if you're level 1, you're just going to worry about normal and draft pick. That's pretty much it. That pretty much covers everything that the launcher has to give. Like there's preferences here. You can enable the language filter if you don't like swearing. You can change the sounds. Some of this stuff you can't change in game, so you got to remember to do this here. But it's not really totally important. So I think I've covered everything. You've got your store. You've got your profile. I broke something, didn't I? And you've got your play button and all the different game styles. And of course, you've got your summoner level. Outside of the actual gameplay, as you win or lose games, you gain experience. And as you level up, you unlock more runes, more masteries, and more summoner spells that you can use in the game to do more damage or take more damage or heal more, whatever you plan on doing, whatever your play style is. So in the game, though, your champion levels up starting at level 1 every game, and max level being 18, and you gain abilities and stuff. I'll get into that in the next video. Alright? So if you did watch this all the way through and you found it informative, please like and subscribe. I really want to do a series of these videos where I just take the game and break it down and get really in-depth, so that if you want to learn a lane or a champion, you don't have to just throw yourself at it and hope for the best. That you can go in and you can understand what you're doing before you go in, and hopefully come out a better player in every experience. And I hope that I'm able to give that experience to people, but we'll see how that goes. So if you want to know more about the actual gameplay, if you haven't sat down and played already, or if you just maybe want to see if there's something that the tutorial didn't cover, check out my next video. There'll be a link, or the annotation still up in the corner, link in the description, and you can check out what the different types of champions are, how to get into a game, how to or what the different lanes are for, what you normally see, and hopefully you guys will find that interesting too. Thank you so much for watching, and you guys have well, Happy New Year, I guess. See ya.